Last episode, Andy and I were anchored here. It's a place called
Cala de San Pedro Beach.
It's in the south part of Spain. We explored the beach and met some locals. It's a beautiful beach with many colorful characters. This episode starts where we left off, which is right here. We've jumped into the dinghy and we're heading to Andy's boat. We're about to pull up anchor and take off for our last day of the trip. We're going to head farther south to Andy's home marina. I'm often moved by the writings of the great French sailor Bernard Moitessier. In his book The Long Way, he wrote, "My real log is written in the sea and the sky. It can't be photographed and given to others. It has gradually come to life out of all that has surrounded us for months. The sounds of water on the hull, the sounds of wind gliding on the sails, the silences full of secret things between my boat and me, like the times I spent as a child listening to the forest talk." So right now we're just having to motor back. No wind, but I mean beautiful otherwise. We're going back to Andy's Marina. This is our last little leg of the sailing trip. Andy's Marina is in a town called Almerimar. Almerimar. It's about an hour northeast of Malaga on the coast. And we're just passing these really cool little towns as we go up the coast, as we go down the coast, I guess, from where we were this morning, which was the Cala de San Pedro. But we're passing all these cool towns. We just passed San Jose, which is a good-sized town, which looked like it had all kinds of water activities, some beaches, boats, different activities. But you know, look at this. Look at this landscaping. I can see over there a long beach. The problem is, whenever we're rocking on the boat a little bit and I zoom in on the camera, it starts to really move a lot. But anyway, maybe I shouldn't zoom it into my face. Definitely a dry climate this time of year, but Andy tells me winter and spring, these mountains turn really green and lush. But in the summer, they get dry and brown. We ended up having to motor. We got out of the anchorage and we thought we were going to be able to sail, but that lasted like 5 minutes, and we immediately had to turn on the engine because there was no wind whatsoever. But we're, you know, cruising with the engine on at about 6 knots. Got about 6 hours sail to Andy's Marina, and just kind of cleaning up the boat a little bit, getting things ready to depart. But it has been a fantastic week. Really discovering this part of Spain was something I didn't expect. I would love to explore this much more. Not just the Ibiza and Formentera, the islands, but even this coastline. I could spend years here going and exploring some of these small towns that we're passing, and some of the ones we visited, like Cartagena. It's just amazing here. So I'm really feeling fortunate to have taken this trip, and that Andy invited me along to sail with him. Really nice. Really a nice week. So we were able to put up the head sail again briefly, but not for very long. So we've got just super flat, calm conditions. You can see here. Close to 8 p.m. Sun is still up for another half hour or so. Getting close to Andy's marina. Well, we're still like three hours away. But since it's so calm and flat, we've got the motor on, obviously, and Andy's going to do a little work. He wanted to show me that he's got some rips in his mainsail. He wants to just do some temporary fixing with the sail tape. I figured it might be something you might learn from, so I'm going to turn the camera on Andy and see how he fixes his couple little tears in the mainsail.
So we've got a little tiny rip in the mainsail right at the top. It's actually happened before. I think the sails are quite old now, and I reluctantly will not replace them because they're so expensive to replace, and we actually don't do that much sailing in the Med anyway. It's quite a lot of motoring around these parts. So when the sail has been lifting up and it's been going through the I think they're called the jack lines, aren't they?
Yeah, lazy jacks.
Lazy jack, yeah, the lazy jack lines. Yeah, it's been chafing a little bit at the top, as it does if you don't get the boat perfectly into the wind or the wind is swinging around a bit, and it's just created a few little tears at the top of the mainsail. So we've got some of this tape here, PSP heavy duty sail tape. It's probably not a permanent fix, but it's good for quite a while. Some people use this and then, you know, they'll keep it on for years, and it actually does the job because it's pretty good stuff. You might need some additional glue, but I'm going to put like a few layers of this over the tiny rip, as you'll see, and hopefully that'll keep it good for quite a while. So the rip is here. You can just see where it's tearing through. There's actually a larger one here which I fixed before, and I put some of this PSP tape on it previously, and this seems to be holding up quite well. I'm pretty happy with this, and it's lucky that it's in an area which has actually got some reinforcement anyway here, so it's not that bad. So I'm going to cut probably a couple of layers of sail tape, and we'll put it maybe around here, and we'll reinforce it a little bit. So I'll do that now. They recommend like scissoring off the edges, which I didn't do last time, which I think I'm going to do this time.
Like the corners?
Yeah, like taking the corners off, so I think I'll do that. Yeah, maybe if you're going to try this at home, don't do it when you're under sail, or under motor anyway. Probably not the most responsible thing. So that's a couple of pieces there. I'll just round off these corners. Manufacturer's recommendations. So you just peel it off. It's like a double-sided tape kind of, but not double-sided, but from the sense that you have to peel the back off. So just go about here. And then you do need to press it down quite a bit to make sure that it sticks. And then I'll get it on the other side. Take it round. Cool, that's good. That looks quite strong on there. I think they say it takes a couple of hours for it to properly set, so I'm just going to keep it up here and not put it down so it creases, and then hopefully it will adhere quite well and it will stick and it'll hold for a while.
Okay, coming into the marina here at Almerimar, so our trip is coming to an end. It's about 10:45 that we're coming in. This is a famous tower here. Reversing into that spot there. We made it into the slip without any issues. I was surprised that so many people were still out and about in town. You can even hear some local music in the background.
Go back a bit.
So we got back to the marina, we tied up, now we're at a little restaurant. Look at the size of this burger. This is a burger. This is my hand. That's yours. So. Hello. Got it. All right, this is it, the final day. We just got back to the marina last night, so we're gonna clean up the boat today. I'm going right now to get my COVID test in order to fly back to the US tomorrow morning early. And I'm gonna go find this little medical office. Made it to the doctor, except medical consultation will remain closed until next August 28th. That's what you find frequently. Literally, they shut down everything in like July and August to do vacations. So, okay, what's the next option? Okay, so we're not finding any places at all to get the COVID test. So I'm in Andy's car and trying to find something. All right, I've successfully completed the COVID test. Had to go to I went to the first clinic. It was closed because the guy's on vacation till tomorrow. I had to go to another clinic that was like in a whole nother town. That clinic says they only do it from 8 to 9 a.m. every morning, the COVID testing, 8 to 9 a.m. It was like 11 a.m. when I was there. They sent me to a second clinic that was all the way across town, and they actually did it. They had a lineup of people wanting to do it in a similar position as me. So I got it done. They said they'll email me the results within 2 hours. So now I'm driving back in Andy's car. What's interesting about this place, Almerimar, I don't know why I keep saying it in a weird way. Almerimar, whatever. One of the interesting things is that there's like tons of greenhouses, and apparently it's the hub of all kind of agricultural fruits and vegetables for almost the entirety of Europe are grown in this region, and you can actually see it from space. So if you do a Google Map search with a satellite image, you will see just all these white covered things. I mean, it looks, because they're just like these greenhouses with the white cloth over them. Really an interesting little piece of trivia for you. Anyway, heading back to the boat. We're going to clean it up and get ready for kind of close it down and say goodbye to Andy, and then leave on the airplane tomorrow for the U.S. We said goodbye to the boat, and then Andy drove us back to his house. We drove through some interesting landscapes. Even saw a skydiver here. So Andy and his wife Hibba live in a town very near the Malaga airport, so it was quite convenient where I would stay the night on his couch and then I would catch my flight early the next morning. Here's Andy's place. It's a beautiful home. He's in the middle of remodeling it.
So we're in the process of like renovating all the inside.
Andy and his wife have rescued several cats.
So this one is Pooh Face. This one's Queen Elizabeth III.
That's Andy's wife, Hibba. You met her before in the first episode I made of this trip. Check this out. Really cool design for the backyard. Andy did all of this work himself. They have an Airbnb at the house, so they wanted a nice outdoor space for their guests. I'll link their Airbnb info below. If you're ever near Malaga, Spain, and want a place to stay, tell them I sent you.
Yeah, so if you can't afford like beachfront property, just get a non-beachfront property and build a beach in your yard. It's a cheaper way to do it.
So this is like you just drilled into this thing?
Yeah. Well, I did this when I was putting the decking down, so I drilled like the holes and I set up all the wiring that goes around as well.
And that's it. I get to the airport and fly back to California. A huge thanks to Andy, his wife Hibba, and their son Arthur for letting me be a part of their summer vacation. As I mentioned at the first of this series, don't be afraid to say yes more often. Say yes to adventure. Say yes to getting out of your comfort zone. Say yes to new friends and experiences. I hope you all enjoyed this series. Thanks for watching.